It's Fully Threaded Radio, episode 181.
Tom Master with the American Fastener Journal.
And Steve Regala from Bradley Coatings.
They are kind of known as Trouble and More Trouble, right?
Well, we are actually, this was Steve's idea last night, we're starting the Fastener Hall of Shame.
Oh.
And we are the inductees, the first two.
Yeah, me and Tom are both presidents.
Yeah.
It's the Fastener Hall of Shame. Yeah. We were inspired by the Hall of Fame yesterday.
Right, which I've been doing this 32 years, and I have not been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Not even a single nomination. So
but he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Shame.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we're going to start that up here, and we're going to create a new show for everybody to come to. It's going to be called The Show Without the Show. There's no booths at all.
Completely social.
Right. You send us like $10,000. There's no booth. There's no carpet requirements. Basically, just go to the bar and we hang out there.
Pool parties, bar.
Yeah.
That's it.
So a couple of new things here. Really the Show Without the Show and the Fastener Hall of Shame.
Shame. Yeah. And that is very good. Now, we have like this team. We have Steve and we have Tom. Yeah. Just like we have Eric and Brian, right? Yeah. Or should it be Brian and Eric? And should it be
Laurel
Tom
and Hardy,
and Steve?
we have Penn and Teller, we got Abbott and Costello. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's Tom and Steve. We'll go with that. You always go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Fully Threaded Radio, do you guys listen to it? Do you know our hosts?
Of course.
Yeah. We listen to it all the time.
Those are the other two teammates.
Yeah, I try to listen to every episode like 3 or 4 times, until a new one comes out just to keep me going.
Just to keep you going?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you're going to really want to hear this one, right?
Oh, yeah. This will be the best one for sure.
Open.
Yeah. Cold open.
Yeah. And you guys look pretty
rested
today.
I have been to bed both nights before 11 o'clock, which is that's never happened.
Yeah, I went to bed early myself, too. I was in at like 1:30 in the morning last night.
That's early.
So I feel great today.
And you went to the right hotels?
Yeah.
No troubles?
Right, we didn't do that.
This time we made it in the right hotel.
We never left. Well, we went to dinner, but I haven't left the property.
Okay.
I can't walk anymore.
No, it's good, though, to see the show. It's good to see everybody back again now. It kind of reminds me of the old days, Last year was kind of slow. There wasn't a lot of people. It was like people were indecisive whether they were going to come or not. But this year it reminds me of the good old days. I never saw so many people.
We get to see all our friends.
Right. And we saw a lot of potential new candidates for the Hall of Shame.
Correct.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we saw some good ones last night.
We got at least 5 years worth of candidates coming.
Right. It's going to be an honor, whoever we induct, because they'll be like really the first one.
So
besides us.
what are we going to give them? They got that nice, all the Hall of Famers, they got that nice trophy or whatever. What would you give them in the Hall of Shame?
They get a bucket of Fireballs. It's like 20 like little airplane bottles. It comes in a bucket. So you get that, and then, you get...
It's time for Fully Threaded Radio.
It is Fully Threaded Radio, voice of the FCH Sourcing Network. If you buy, sell, manufacture, import threaded fasteners, or you find yourself hanging out at fastener shows a lot, well, this is the podcast for you. Thanks for clicking in, everyone. And as Steve Regala mentioned there a moment ago, this almost became the show without a show, but we finally got it together, and, well, here it is. Episode 181, publishing on or about October 27th, 2022. Hey, everyone, Eric Dudas here. Brian's still gallivanting out west. Got a couple of photos from him and the lovely and talented Lynn Dempsey out in some unnamed canyon. Looked like a lot of fun. They'll be back soon, but I wanted to get this episode out. The big International Fastener Expo happened last week. This episode is dedicated to that. We've got 2 chunks of sound we'll lay out for you. The lovely and talented Lynn Dempsey was on the show floor, as she always is. And so the feature segments on today's episode are her talking with lots of people out there in the fastener industry. And some of you are probably tuned in. Thanks for talking with Lynn out there. Initially, we had lots of things lined up for the episode today that just were not meant to be, apparently. So this is a little bit of a different kind of a episode. You got to roll with the punches in the Fastener podcast game. So this time, Mike McNulty's also flying solo, but I'll give you the FDI numbers ahead of the Fastener News Report. Mike's got the headlines for you, and he's on fire this time with his back page report. You're not going to want to miss that. And fear not, Carmen Vertullo came through on this edition of the Fastener Training Minute. He'll discuss the topic of bolt stretching. When it happens, when it's good, when it's natural, when you should be looking out. And it certainly would be a show without a show were it not for the list of great partners we've got bringing you every episode of Fully Threaded Radio. The title sponsors are Brighton Best International, Tested, Try True, Brighton Best, Goebel Fasteners, Quality the First Time, Goebel, and Star Stainless Screw, right off the shelf. It's Star. Fully Threaded is also sponsored by Buckeye Fasteners, BTM Manufacturing, Eurolink Fastener Supply Service, Fastener Technology International, INxSQL Software, Indy Industries, Parker Fasteners, Solution Industries, Stelfast, 3Q Inc., Volt Industrial Plastics, and Worth Industry North America. Reach out to us anytime, folks. The email address is ftr@fullythreaded.com. After the break, we'll jump right into our first package of sound that we gathered out there in Vegas. And when it comes time for the news report, I'll also throw an update for you following up on last episode, during which we alerted everyone to the pending train strike. That was fairly dramatic information we shared. So I've got the latest from Chris Donnell. You might be interested where that all sits because the implications of that strike are not good. So grab a cup of BTM U-Bolt Blend coffee, or if you're listening after hours, maybe a Old Rusty Bolt from Buckeye Fasteners. Thanks for clicking in, everyone. It's Fully Threaded.
Talk radio for the fastener industry. It's not really all that bad for the most part. Brian and Eric, Fully Threaded Radio.
At Star Stainless, we are committed to supporting our customers. Thanks to everyone who stopped by our booth at IFE. It was great seeing everyone again. We are looking forward to expanding our relationships into the future. As part of the LSG family, our collective footprint will allow our customers to access product even more efficiently. As always at Star, quality is more than products.
Goebel Fasteners has consistently increased its stock inventory in Houston, Texas, as well as focused on developing new, innovative battery-powered cordless tools to improve industry efficiency. Our company's strategy is to provide a level of quality and innovation that stands out among the rest. If you are interested in being part of a brand that is revolutionizing the industry, make sure to contact Goebel Fasteners today to see what we have to offer. Goebel Fasteners, the leading rivet source.
The U.S. Anchor Division at Brighton Best International is comprised of a comprehensive line of light, medium, and heavy-duty anchors for various construction and industrial applications. This line is highlighted by its flagship Ultra Wedge Plus wedge anchor, which is crack concrete tested and approved by ICC-ES and Miami-Dade County. The U.S. Anchor line includes the Tap King SC that is Miami-Dade approved for standard and hurricane window applications, and the Tap King HD designed for heavy-duty uses in concrete and is ICC-ES approved for crack concrete. The balance of U.S. Anchor product line includes light-duty anchors for drywall, hollow block wall, standard concrete, and brick and mortar joints. Contact your BBI representative or visit www.brightonbest.com/brands for more info.
Hi, this is Dave, the voice of Buckeye Fasteners and Old Rusty Bolt Beer, the preferred beer of the traveling salesman. And you are listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
So we are here at the IFE opening day, and if it's anything like the reception, it should be very busy. And the only thing, it looks the same. The only thing is no carpeting in the middle, which I don't know what that's about. And but we do have coffee and water supplied to us, which is an added thing. All the exhibitors look great. Everybody's gets a good vibe in the room, and we're all ready. And let's hope everybody's got a good show going on.
Rosa Hearn from Brighton Best.
Oh, Rosa, where have you been? We haven't seen you here.
Oh, I've been working away. I think I'm going to change my name now to Estella the Welder. We're bringing in welding consumables now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Everything from the MIG, the TIG, which is all the aftermarket spare parts of all the nozzles, the back caps, collets, all that stuff. So we're bringing that for 2023.
So you've been like locked up learning welding stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But, I've been going to the associations, so you'll see me around on the associations as well.
Good. I know women in the fastener industry must miss you, not being president there. So what's your involvement now with them?
Well, I do my best to support them, when it comes to sponsorship or giving them gloves for that matter, our famous pink gloves. But I miss them too. It's such a good group, and this is such a great industry. It's so nice to see the pink lanyards around because everybody's like, my sister. So, if you're my sister out there, hello.
And you look mighty attractive in your pink little helmet here.
Oh, yes. I'm always a supporter, so, I do my best.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
Yeah, same here.
I'm talking here with
George Layoff of Comar Screw.
Wayne Arnson, Comar Screw.
All right, fellas, how's the show?
Show is fantastic. Well, this is my, umpteenth show. But I'll let the cat out of the bag. It's my last show because I'm retiring in December.
Congratulations.
But it's nice to put faces with the voices that I've talked to over 40 years, and I've created a lot of friendships, so they're going to be missed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
So I see your bags here are loaded. What was the best giveaway?
BTM coffee.
You got it, Jake. Mr. Jake.
Jake Coffee. Actually, the best one is the hot sauce.
The hot sauce.
Oh,
yeah.
Where's that?
It's advanced components. They got the hot sauce out there, and the women are dressed in retro.
Oh,
like
okay.
1970s.
We'll go over there.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very cool.
Robert Hollenbach from the Olander Company.
And he's walking the show. And tell me your impressions of the show.
It's nice meeting people that I've always dealt with and checking out the new vendors to see what other kind of possibilities for expanding our businesses.
And I noticed that you've got a pretty full bag there. What's your best takeaway?
I got the Stelfast monkey.
I know. Isn't it cool?
It is cool, yeah.
Two-toned.
Yeah.
So, very cool. All right, I'm still here at the IFE, and I'm with
Donnie Kirkwood from Brainerd Rivet Company.
Do you listen to Fully Threaded Radio?
I do. I appreciate all the great information that comes from Eric and Brian. They do such a good job. It's fantastic.
Oh, boy, they're just going to absolutely love that. So, tell me, what's happening? How's the show?
Show's been good. Made a lot of good connections here. Talked to a lot of good people. Had some good leads. So I'm pleased so far.
Yeah. So what's happening at the company? Anything you want to plug?
Well, for Brainerd Rivets, we're having a very good bounce back year, just like everybody. We had some issues with once COVID and the pandemic and all that stuff hit, but we've bounced back very strongly. We had broke a couple records this year. Had a first quarter and 6 month sales record for Brainerd Rivets, on track to break our yearly sales record, and for next year we're looking at improving upon that again. So hopefully continue breaking those records.
Okay, because the FDI went down this last month to 47.6, so it dropped below 50, but you don't think Rivet would drop below 50? No?
I don't see that in our future.
All right, we're at the show, and I'm interviewing the neighbors, and so I walked across the aisle, and I'm with
Justin Souza with Vesper Solar.
And you are a new exhibitor, and Brian says this is the number one newest innovative product. So tell me.
We'd love to think so. We were initially funded by the U.S. Department of Energy grant with their grant money to solve the number one challenge with catastrophic failure in solar. Installation of solar panels, utility-scale solar panels, which is vibrational loosening over time. So we've created a product which completely eliminates the need for nuts and bolts in the process. The over-torquing and under-torquing of solar panel and with nuts and bolts in the installation process is a key contributing factor for the catastrophic failure.
And that's this little thing over here on the table here,
Correct.
huh?
Our signature product is the B-clamp.
Okay. All right. So can we use it for any other industries?
That's why we're here. We're actively seeking new applications that would address the combination of attaching two pieces of sheet metal together. We're looking for new applications as well as distribution relationships to support those new applications, whatever they may be.
Okay, and if someone wants to get in touch with you, website?
BesperSolar.com. BesperSolar.com.
All right, everybody, check them out.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you.
Appreciate it.
All right, I'm up here in one of the conference rooms of Optimus, way up here on the third floor, and we're going to be talking to Daniel Harms and Mike Tuffy of Optimus. And so welcome, fellas. First off, how's the show?
Well, thanks, Lynn, and thanks for having us. Yeah, the show's been great for us. So when we came out this week, we were excited to kick off the show with our Ford Faster reception, where it was great to see over 200 people that connecting with new suppliers as well as really rekindling old connections. So for us, it was the first time we've actually had a booth on the show floor exhibiting as both the manufacturer and our engineering services. So it's really been just a great opportunity to get out and meet and reconnect.
Yeah, Lynn, and this is Mike. I think overall we connected, as Daniel said, 200 people in our reception. So that was really good. It's nice to see face-to-face at last with people again, where we're connecting with old friends and making new acquaintances. And I think as we've gone through the show, what's been interesting, having the booth, is being able to connect the supply chain. We've had a number of changes within Optimus, and it's just really nice to be able to get the structure right, get the communications out there so that people know who's who at the zoo, who they need to talk to, which has been really good. So yeah, and at our booth, talking about manufacturing in country for country, the ability to de-risk, and that's been really exciting and taken up well in the team. So yeah, it's been good.
Wonderful. One of our keynote speakers, Dirk Beveridge, was talking about different things, and he was talking about how after COVID we all have to reimagine leadership. So I was kind of excited to see this dual CEO business, huh? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we epitomized that, I suppose. So yeah, so the keynote was just for us, I think. So that was really nice to hear. And I think what we announced recently, and it's been reinforced a number of times this week, is that Daniel and I working in partnership. We've got broad experiences. We complement each other in our skill sets. We're able to connect our teams globally whilst ensuring that we are doing the right things in the regions, within the countries, to understand the cultures, to understand how we drive the organization forward. So with that, with Daniel's many years of experience and coupled with mine, we're finding that we've been a year at this is the president's role, now taking on the CEOs, making sure that we are connecting all of the corporate side of the business, looking at the balance sheet. So yeah, it's going well. It's early days, obviously, in this title, but the reality is it's a continuation of what we're doing.
You agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that I think it's been great for Mike and I to see is just the collaboration that our teams have demonstrated as we went into this, as Mike said, the co-president's roles for over a year. And really, I think this is just a signal to the team that what we're doing is working, and the great work that our teams are doing is really starting to pay off. So I think both Mike and I told the teams really this wasn't recognition of Mike and I as much as it was as recognition for our teams. But yeah, it's going great.
That's great. And then they also talked about, in the keynote, about innovation. And innovation is the answer in order to stay viable. And I read in the press release, Forward Faster.
Yeah, so Forward Faster is really just what we've labeled our transformation initiative. So when I joined Optimus last year as Chief Operating Officer, one of the things that I was really brought in to do was help accelerate the pace of change that we were making here in the Americas specifically. We were in the middle of a global ERP transition, really trying to drive to this single source of truth of data. Data is so important to our business. The analytics that it can bring to the customers, to ourselves, and to our suppliers is just so powerful. And this idea of how do we leverage that information through business intelligence and And again, bringing new forecasting tools in the supply chain environment that we're in has never been more powerful than it is today. Optimus has been on this digitization journey for a few years, but forward faster, as it implies, is just how do we accelerate some of those things. So it's been about streamlining organizational structures, and it's been about how do we connect the work to the people with new data, new key KPIs and objectives, and really that's what that forward faster is all about, is simplifying the work so that we can better serve our customers. It's about connecting the work to our people so that our teams can be more successful, and I think it's about getting the right data and information out so that Mike and I can make better business decisions.
Okay. And Daniel here is the Americas International. And your background is logistics, right?
It is food, yeah. Primarily, I spent 20 years in food and CPG, so outside the fastener industry, which is why having a partner like Mike has been so beneficial for me.
And you're from?
I'm a fastener
Alex.
guy.
Yeah,
so I'm a fastener guy through and through, all my working life. Lucky to have travelled the world, meeting many different manufacturers worldwide, as well as then connecting then customer requirements with those supplier opportunities. So yeah, Daniel and I have complementary skills with regards to that, which is then really positive in our partnership and being able to ensure that we're making sound decisions, not an emotion, helping the single source of truth and the data, making sure that we're then making educated decisions that are right for the organisation.
So I think this dual partnership might work, huh?
I think it's
not might, Lynn, it will.
Very good, Mike.
Demonstrated that. Yeah, I think for
So
us,
very
great.
good. Yeah. So thank you for talking with me.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm walking around and I found
Joe Sink with H.W. Eckhart.
Do you listen to Fully Threaded Radio?
Religiously, actually.
Religiously, that's good. He was teasing me earlier and said once. So, how's the show going?
It's very successful for us. A lot better than last year, obviously. Very excited about the show this year, yeah.
Tell me about the anniversary.
Next year, 2023, will be our 50th anniversary.
50 years.
And I've been with the company 17 years, so I've seen some changes in our industry, but we have definitely a ton of people here that have been here a lot longer, and it's very interesting talking to them about the changes in our industry. So, great industry, and still is, and looking for 50 more years.
Oh, and I'm sure you'll get it. What's your number one product here?
Oedeker clamps.
Tell me about them. What can they do?
Pinch clamps for the automotive, marine, commercial industry. Very widely used in a bunch of markets. We're a master distributor, been a master distributor for over 20 years, and one of our greatest lines, yeah.
I hope you have a great second day.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
My
thank
pleasure.
you. We're over here at the awards ceremony, and we've just had some people inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I'm here with
Lisa Breton from DB Roberts.
And Sandra Solis from DB Roberts.
Kelly Loeb from DB Roberts.
And why were you here?
We came to see Rick Rudolph get inducted into the Hall of Fame. He's been a rep for many manufacturers for our company for many, many years, and he's a great friend and one of the best reps out there in the industry.
Yeah, ladies
we wanted to be here to support him for sure.
Absolutely. We wanted to thank him and show him our appreciation for all the years of support he's given us.
Yes, he is a pretty neat guy. We've gone to rugby with him in Morgan. Yes. Yes, very good. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, I'm excited here. I've got one of the Hall of Fame winners here. I've got Rick Rudolph, who was introduced by your son. Did you know what he was going to say?
No.
All right.
No, he wouldn't tell me.
Were you worried
about
what he was going to say?
Well, when he came out and told everyone that I should have been arrested for child abuse for bringing him into the industry, I think the rest of it was kind of, well, I was tearing up, actually, because I think he likes me.
I do too. I would agree with that. So it was very exciting. I thought we had your son introduce you. We had a daughter accept award for her dad, and that was Heidi Voltaire. And we had, what was the third one? We had another family member.
Bruce.
Bruce
Wheeler.
Father introduced the young professional. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Brian
I mean,
Wheeler.
it was like all in the family.
It was very nice. And you know, the fastener industry has been like a family to me. You know, some of my best friends. I mean, I have even gone with people down to see rugby games in Washington D.C. with
Yes, with family.
With
yes.
family, yes, yeah. And it's, it's a fraternity as well. I mean, it was very nice prior to the induction ceremony.
Andy Cohn was one of the recipients who I didn't get to talk to. And you had this lovely story about his dad.
Eric, from Allied International. Eric was with Allied International, and he was one of the first people to do a lot of direct mail imports and that type of thing. And Andy decided he didn't want to go into the family business and start his own, and he did. Well, Eric told him about this opportunity to buy Duncan, so he did. But Eric was one of my mentors. When I looked at that board, or the wall that we have there with the names engraved in bricks for all the people who have been inducted into the Fastener Hall of Fame, it's humbling because a lot of those people, like Eric and so many others on there, it's almost too many to mention. Actually, I've known most of those people, and we're friends with most of those people on that wall, having been in the business as long as I have been, and it was very humbling. But Eric's dad was always known because he always smoked a pipe, and I was a young kid out of college, and I wanted to be respected like Eric Cohen, and I started smoking a pipe. And I was put up for ridicule for doing that.
Oh, you didn't get the respect you thought you were going to get?
Okay. No, 23-year-old kids don't get that kind of respect that a man like Eric had. But, there are so many people there, legends that in the industry, innovators. It's just to think that I'm on that wall with all those people. It's overwhelming and very humbling.
I'm still here at the awards ceremony, and you can tell that they just put the music on here because it's over with. But I have here
Scott Sturm from Empire Bolt.
Jennifer Sturm with Empire Bolt.
Ron Stanley from Empire Bolt.
Chris McCaffrey from Birmingham Fasteners.
And why are you all here? Who are you waiting to see get an award?
We're here to support Andy Cohn and Brian Wheeler.
Here to support my bro, Brian Wheeler. Congratulations. And he's not too old to be Fastener Professional of the Year.
Yeah, it's too bad he had to announce his age. Sometimes you like to keep that quiet, right?
36 is not a problem, right?
No, that's true. Yeah. Well, you're my age, you're way over it. I'm here with the Young Fastener Professional Hall of Fame winner, Brian Wheeler. So how's it feel?
Oh, it feels great. I love being here with my Fastener friends and having them all be here to share it with me. I really appreciate it all and support everybody who came out.
Yeah, and the introduction, your dad?
Oh, he did fantastic. He always does, though. So we knew that was coming. And it's always good winning an award and get it presented by your father.
Did you know what he was going to say?
Oh, I had no idea what he was going to say.
Were you worried?
Oh, I was worried. But you know what? I knew he was going to do good by me.
Oh, good. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
At Worth Industry North America, we know that in today's world, you need a supply chain partner that you can depend on. We provide the products you need to keep your business moving. Data-driven inventory management solutions, industry-leading technology, and the global stability of the Worth Group, combined with an unrelenting commitment to local partnership. Discover superior supply chain security at www.worthindustry.com.
Hey mates, Brian Musker. Regardless of the required size, material or finish, Eurolink has the European resources to meet your demands for hard-to-find metric fasteners. We're the one-stop source for all of your metric needs, saving you time and money searching for these parts while fulfilling all of your requirements. How do we do it? Eurolink offers access to more than 100,000 quality C-class parts with the ability to solve your toughest metric fastener supply issues every time. Hard to find metric fasteners? Delivered. Just think of us as your heavy metal rock stars. To learn more about how we can rock your world or request a hassle-free quote online, visit EurolinkFSS.com. That's EurolinkFSS.com.
Are you tired of empty promises from software vendors? Are you paying for support that you're not receiving? Is it time for another paid upgrade? There is a solution. INxSQL delivers quality software designed for the fastener industry at an affordable price with industry-leading support. Quality software, affordable pricing, industry-leading support. Only INxSQL can deliver all three. www.INxSQL.com.
This is Kevin Chavis with Star Stainless Screw, and you are listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that first package of sound that we got from the International Fastener Expo. The lovely and talented Lynn Dempsey, she always does such a nice job. Actually, we had some other clips that we weren't able to play for you because the music at the welcome reception was, again, pretty loud, and I just couldn't make anything out of them. They were actually kind of funny, but I didn't think they were going to be playable. So I guess the party was pretty good, but the music was loud. International Fastener Expo. We'll have another package of sound bites coming up for you in a little bit, but this is the news segment of the podcast. Mike McNulty will be up momentarily with headlines, and the Fastener News Report is brought to us, as usual, by Volt Industrial Plastics. If you've seen the September-October issue of American Fastener Journal, Volt has the cover, 30 years in business, and, of course, another banner month for them because, of course, founder Joe Voltrauer was just inducted into the Hall of Fame. His daughter Heidi, you've heard her on the podcast many times. She was there in Vegas accepting the award. Congratulations to the whole family, and especially Joe Voltrauer. And the title sponsors of Fully Threaded Radio, we'll thank them here as well. Brighton Best International, Goebel Fasteners, and Star Stainless Screw Company. I mentioned at the top of the episode that I had a follow-up for you regarding the train and get-in story. That was the theme of episode 180. Chris Donnell with Scanwell joined us, and he really heated things up in terms of his description of what might have been coming down the pike. Now, it seems like things cooled a little bit because I guess the train lines and the unions have been making nice with each other a little bit. And in fact, two of the unions actually have accepted the latest offer, according to Chris Donnell. He sent me this update. I'll just give you a couple of the highlights here. Oh, I said two unions. Actually, 5 of the 12 unions in question have accepted the tentative agreement. But one of them, the mechanics union, Chris says, has outright rejected that. So we would not have a unanimous acceptance of whatever that latest offer is. Another point he's saying is that the rumor is the 2 largest unions in question here are said to be rejecting, but we won't know what the outcome of that is until November 17th, which is when they take their vote. So in fact, we're really still in limbo. Go back and listen to episode 180 and that interview with Chris Donnell of Scanwell to get the background on all of this. But basically what we're talking about is a massive potential strike looming that would cause further havoc with the supply chains. So it may or may not be happening. Seems like most of the popular media is saying that it's actually a done deal. Tragedy has been averted, but we don't really know for sure. So we're just giving you the reality check, folks. One other note from Chris on the logistics side of things. He says peak season is a bust. Import volumes are dropping almost as much as the rates, and that's kind of scary considering we're getting into the holiday season. So I guess that's kind of indicative of what we're seeing overall in the economy and the general gloomy news out there. Although, as we heard at the Fastener Show, that's not across the board because there are still a lot of fastener companies that seem to be cranking along. There are some cracks appearing here and there, but the energy out there was overall pretty positive, it sounded like. Of course, we'll have more on that during the second IF segment today. But that segues us nicely into the Fastener Distributor Index numbers, which, again, we were supposed to have as usual on the Fastener News Report, but for reasons I won't go into, that fell apart. And so I will just share it with you all. If you haven't seen the report now, by the way, if you haven't seen the report by now, get out to fdisurvey.com, get your company signed up. You should be receiving this report as soon as it's published, which is the way that participants receive the monthly FDI. But the headline is that activity in September and forward-looking expectations both sunk below 50, as the number for September was 47.6, and the forward-looking indicator was 47.5. Now, that FLI was virtually unchanged from last month's 47.4, but the FDI itself sunk about 5 points. So that really kind of hurts. Now we see both of these critical indicators sub 50, which means they're both in contraction territory. Ouch. Digging into that FDI and how we got to 47.6, really the one that hurts the most, stands out to me, is that 43.9 sales number. That is well under 50, and the direction is declining, and the rate of acceleration is faster. So it's getting worse faster. It's at 43.9 now, or it was in September. And the other number, the one that's really in the tank, is customer inventories at 39.1, also declining, also accelerating in that direction. So it's a really ugly FDI for September. We're about to go into survey mode for October. Here at the FCH Sourcing Network, I think we're probably going to say October will be roughly the same, just based on our vantage point. But, of course, we'll see that number in a few days. Here we are publishing the podcast a little late this time. But that's what we've got for you with the FDI, the big number, 47.6. And a lot of people are expecting that to kind of stay pretty soft for a while. As a matter of fact, the summary line in the Baird Analysts report says overall September was a relatively soft month for fastener distributors, and we suspect further softening ahead. That's Quinn over at Baird finishing off his summary for September's activity. So there you have it, folks. And I guess what we'll do now is pass it over to Mike McNulty for the headlines. That'll be followed by Carmen Vertullo's Fastener Training Minute. Thanks for being here, folks. Now let's get to some news about screws that you can use.
Thanks, Eric and Brian. This is Mike McNulty from Fastener Technology International Magazine, bringing you the Fastener News Report, which is sponsored by Volt Industrial Plastics, makers of the world's finest plastic fasteners. Here's a tip of my cap to New York Yankee Aaron Judge for heroically hitting 62 home runs in one season, most likely without using a corked bat, human growth hormones, steroid cocktails, or Lance Armstrong blood transfusion. And here's a head shake at the U.S. Congress for racking up a historic, mind-blowing $31 trillion in federal debt. And here's a smirk at the OPEC Plus nations for their 2 million double-barrel middle fingers being flipped at all the American energy masterminds. And here's a sigh at the executive pardon of more than 6,000 convicted Doobie brothers and sisters. And finally, here's my promise that I am still focused on fasteners and ready to deliver today's Fastener News Report. In this episode, we have our top story on the International Fastener Expo Award winners, as well as newsmaker headlines from Adolph Wirth, Semblex, Goebel Fasteners, Allstate Fastener, Women in the Fastener Industry, Brighton Best International, Avantis Aerospace, ND Industries, and more. On the back page report, we're going to talk about a lawless rogue. We'll get to all of that and the latest FDI results right after this.
There's a reason Volt Industrial Plastics is an industry leader in plastic clip, clamp, and custom fastener manufacturing. With over 100 million parts in stock that can be shipped the same day, Volt has some of the fastest lead times in the industry. Volt can do color. We have the capability of molding over 120 different materials and can color match for specific applications. You need it? We can build it. At Volt, we have state-of-the-art technology to build prototypes to customer specs. And although some companies provide similar products, we offer customer service that's second to none, setting us apart from our competition. And now available, Volt's new light-duty cable clamps. With maximum diameters ranging from 3/16 to a ½ inch, these clamps are ideal for hard-to-reach spaces, electronics, and finish work. They prevent corrosion with metal tubing, and with plastic tubing, they won't bind or warp, preventing leaks while maintaining the flow of liquids. Volt Industrial Plastics, the finest, fastest plastic fasteners in the world. Visit us at voltplastics.com.
Stelfast customers say it all.
Travis Hermanson, Pacific Bolt Manufacturing out of Vancouver, BC, Canada. I use Stelfast as one of my main suppliers. They've been a consistent, great vendor of mine. I've used them for many years now. I've never had any issues. And whenever we are in a jam and we need to get skids and skids of products out the door, out of the warehouse, Stelfast jumps on it right away. Their pricing. Always very competitive, and they're always my first phone call. I'm a big supporter of Stelfast, and I continue to be one for as long as I can.
For service you deserve and people you trust, it's Stelfast.
Since 1905, Buckeye Fasteners and the Ohio Nut and Bolt Company have been supplying the world with high-quality fasteners. Our standard product lines include weld fasteners, braided weld screws, leg levelers, self-clinching hardware, clevis pins, rivet nuts, and various other fastener lines, allowing us to support virtually all types of industries. BuckeyeFasteners.com. Buckeye Fasteners, more than just weld.
Mike McNulty.
Now for today's top story. The 2022 Hall of Fame and Young Fastener Professional Awards ceremony took place at the International Fastener Expo, also known as IFE, in Las Vegas on October 8th to honor and recognize the 2022 award recipients. The Fastener Hall of Fame recognizes professionals who have made significant and enduring contributions to the industrial fastener industry on a national or global scale. Individuals selected for induction join dozens of other honored industry members, including but not limited to inventors, business leaders, and educators. The 2022 Hall of Fame inductees are Andy Cohn of Duncan Bolt, Rick Rudolph of Rick Rudolph Associates, LLC, Tim Malone of Spring Bolt and Nut Manufacturing, and Joseph Voltrauer of Volt Industrial Plastics. The Young Fastener Professional of the Year Award recognizes and honors a young professional, 40 years old or younger, who has made significant contributions to the fastener industry. The 2022 winner is Brian Wheeler of Star Stainless. The winners were able to see their names in Las Vegas on the famous Hall of Fame brick wall. You can see the award criteria as well as list of past winners going all the way back to 1982 for the Hall of Fame and to 2016 for the Young Fastener Professionals under the Awards tab at fastenershows.com. Next up, today's Fastener Newsmaker headlines. In expansion, acquisition, and contract news, Adolph Wirth, GmbH and Company, KG, opened a 15,500 square meter fastening technology test center and anchor laboratory in Germany worth 75 million euros. Bolton won fastener contracts in the electric vehicle industry. Bontempi Vibo inaugurated a new hot forging department at its Rodengo Saiano site in Italy. And Goebel Fasteners entered into a partnership with Cardinal Components, naming it an authorized distributor for Goebel blind fastening products and tooling. In personnel and representation news, Charlie Stump was named CEO of Allstate Fastener. Women in the fastener industry, also known as Wi-Fi, awarded Michelle Richards of Original Engineered Products and Jasmine Duenas of Delta Secondary Edith Cameron scholarships to attend IFE in Las Vegas. Keegan O'Bannon joined Barron Manufacturing as the company's new president. Hewitt welcomed Scott Heemstra as VP of Operations and Rob Hammond as Corporate Controller. Avantis Aerospace appointed Dan Strangio as Group Chief Executive. Brighton Best International named Augustin Rodriguez as Regional Warehouse Manager at BBI Sayreville. Martina McIsaac joined MSC Industrial Supply as Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer. And ND Industries hired Ryan Nystrom as General Manager of the company's Cleveland, Ohio processing facility. You can get details on all of these stories and more in Fastener Technology International Magazine and the Fastener News Report monthly newsletter, both available online at fastenertech.com. Now let's turn to the back page to talk about a lawless rogue. From the beginning of time, there has never been, nor there will ever be, a shortage of lawless rogues roaming about every corner of the world, in each and every industry, institution, country, and culture, and in every stage and state of life. But when there is one carrying the unofficial title as, quote, leader of the free world, unquote, then it is worth mentioning on the back page report. Inspired by a column written by Dan McLaughlin of National Review, here is my back page report. On January 20th, 2021, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. swore an oath before his God and his country, quote, I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and I will do to the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, unquote. McLaughlin notes that at the heart of those duties imposed by that oath is Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution, which requires of the President to take care that laws be faithfully executed and enforced. Not some of the laws, but all of them. The President is not charged with making those laws. He can veto bad laws that are presented to him by Congress, and he can recommend that bad laws be repealed or reformed. But so long as the laws made by Congress are on the books, it is his sworn, solemn constitutional duty to take care that they be faithfully executed. Biden has repeatedly proven himself to be a rogue president in that he ignores his oath and duties. He has on several occasions exceeded his powers by trying to make laws rather than to enforce them. And he has done so even when he and his legal advisors and the leaders of his own party in Congress know that he has no power to do so. He did not have the power to make national housing laws, yet he decreed that landlords could not evict deadbeat tenants. He did not have the power to make national medical decisions, yet he ordered every workplace to mandate vaccinations. He did not have the power to appropriate billions of dollars to pay off college debts, but he did that too. The courts have struck down the first two of those violations of his oath, and work is in progress to strike down the third. And now Biden apparently thinks that we should not have federal laws against possession of marijuana. Okay, fine. If that's what he thinks, then he should ask Congress to repeal those laws, which, by the way, he helped write during his decades in the Senate. And if Congress did repeal them, he might have a case for making that repeal effective retroactive via a blanket presidential pardon. But that would require actually acknowledging that the Constitution allows Congress to make laws and requires presidents to enforce them. Instead, he simply issued around 6,500 pardons, which sends the message that he will consider that those laws are not going to be enforced going forward. The Constitution is also clear that when an elected official repeatedly and openly violates his or her oath of office and the accompanying constitutional obligations, that they should be impeached and removed from office. But this actually requires that people in the other two branches of the federal government uphold their oaths of office, and I'm not sure that many have the backbone or the courage to do so, which means that we have a real serious constitutional crisis on our hands if nothing is done. This has been Mike McNulty of Fastener Technology International bringing you the Fastener News Report. Please send your news, pictures, comments, corrections, or complaints to me at mcnulty@fastenertech.com.
Tools, first and foremost, must be reliable, no matter what line of work you're in. They should perform consistently and be intended to make the job easier for the consumer. Ergonomically designed for reduced fatigue on the body and longer use on the job site. The Goebel riveting tool family provides this. Whether you choose from our cordless battery, manual, or pneumatic hydraulic tool options, all our tools provide the optimum power and reliability needed for fatigue-free work. Our most important attribute is the assurance that our tools are reliable and provide a solid level of craftsmanship. Quality, the first time.
Goebel Fasteners, GoebelFasteners.com.
ND Industries has been increasing the safety and reliability of fastener assemblies by developing innovative materials and processes since 1955. Names like ND Patch, Thermalock, Electrolock, and Vibratite serve a wide variety of fastening applications across North America and around the world. To see our full line of innovative products or to discuss your application requirements, contact ND Industries today at www.ndindustries.com.
Solution Man, Ken.
Solution Man, you're my fastener hero.
Just doing my job, ma'am.
SOLUTION, SOLUTION. Solution Industry. We are Solution.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Carmen Bertullo coming to you from the Fastener Training Institute and AIM Testing Laboratory in beautiful El Cajon, California, with the Fastener Training Minute. As usual, today's topic comes from a question from one of our students. Actually, this is one of the students who attend our new Fastener Expert Mentoring Program. I'm going to read you the question, tell you a little bit of background, and then when we return, we'll learn some stuff. Here's the question. I'm seeking a little help with a customer issue installing these cap screws. The part is a 5/8 by 2 grade 8 cap screw plane. The customer is stating the screws are stretching. The only info I have is they are torquing them to 220 to 225 foot-pounds, and they sent me some pictures, which I have no idea what I'm looking at. I always thought that bolts will naturally stretch when being torqued down, and the only way I know to check would be a proof load test. Is there any other question I should ask before I request samples to test? Please advise. Well, this is an excellent, I guess I would call it problem. It's really not a failure. Problem to learn about how bolts work. The customer believes the bolts are stretching. Well, we all know that bolts naturally stretch when they're properly installed. It's not bad for them to stretch. They're supposed to stretch. The question is how much. When we return, we'll look at the information that we have, and we'll also make a list of questions to ask so that we can get to the bottom of this problem.
Thanks, Carmen. This is Joe Morris with the Fastener Training Institute. We have slowly been bringing back in-person training classes, and the response and attendance has been outstanding. While the entire industry is facing a surge in demand and feeling the struggles of supply chain, the smartest thing that you can do is invest in yourself and your people with training. This year, the Fastener Training Institute will present our Legacy Fastener Training Week 3 times in different locations throughout the U.S., plus the possibility of a Canadian class in Montreal. Los Angeles, Cleveland, and Chicago are our current city locations for Fastener Training Week, and they have been selling out, so I encourage you to enroll early to secure your spot for this week-long event. For those of you who are new to our program, Fastener Training Week is the training platform to become a certified fastener specialist. After taking the required classes and passing the final exam, participants are then eligible to become a certified fastener specialist, which is arguably one of the highest designations and accomplishments in our industry. If taking a week away from work is not in the cards, and I get it, we are also bringing back our single-day in-person classes with the same content. These are great standalone classes, or take all of them at your own pace throughout the year, and you will still qualify to become a certified fastener specialist. These classes are going to take place in the Los Angeles area and will run throughout the year. As in years past, the Fastener Training Institute is partnering with all of the regional fastener associations and the trade shows by offering training opportunities at most events. If you're looking for a class on fastener basics or how fasteners are made, or even something slightly more technical, we have you covered. These are fun events, they're great training, and it's wonderful networking opportunities, and we thank all of our partners for working with us. Lastly, and most importantly, please check out our website at fastenertraining.com for an up-to-date schedule, course description, and lots of information on current fastener events. We also have an extensive online learning library that hosts more than 50 training videos for every skill set in the fastener industry. Again, it's really been great getting to know many of you. Please say hello to me at any industry event, and it's going to be a great year for training. Now back to Carmen.
Quality products, quality service, quality customers. That's 3Q Inc., a fastener distributor unlike any you've worked with before. With its unique remote managed inventory stocking programs, wide array of secondary service offerings, and wholly owned cold forming capability, 3Q Inc. has been supporting fastener distributors since 2008. 3Q offers a wide range of 100% American-made fasteners, including ITW SEMS lock washers, as well as specialty and imported parts. Give 3Q a call today to discuss your needs and experience 3Q quality for yourself. 3Q Inc. www.3q-inc.com.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Carmen Bertullo with the Fastener Training Minute. Today, we are talking about an issue that a supplier has with a customer where the customer is complaining that their 5/8 11 by 2 grade 8 hex cap screws plain are stretching. So we don't know exactly what they mean by stretching. We have to ask that. As you know, if you've had any of our training classes at the Fastener Training Institute, bolts naturally stretch. It's one of the things they have to do in order to work properly. The question is, how much do they stretch? They stretch a little bit, and if you remove the load, they go back to their normal length. That's why if you listen to the reading I did from the email, the customer said they stretched, and the supplier thought they would do a proof load test. Well, a proof load test is a perfect test to know whether or not the fastener can, in fact, withstand some amount of stretching, because what we do in the proof load test is we apply a load to the fastener that is some portion of its yield strength, usually about 70 to 90%, depending on the standard. And then we release that load. We measure the length of the bolt before and after and make sure that it did not, in fact, stretch. Now, in that range where the fastener stretches but does not stretch permanently, that's called the elastic range. And if it goes beyond that, that's called the plastic range. Now it does not go back the way it was. And if you look at this on a graph, it kind of looks like a straight line, sort of on a slight diagonal going up as the load increases and the stretch increases. And at some point, it starts to curve over and goes into what we call yield, or into the plastic zone, and it won't go back. This property of steel, actually this property of all materials from an engineering sense, is called the modulus of elasticity of the material. Elastic modulus for short. Spring constant is another way to say it, because in fact it describes the behavior of materials as if they are springs. Also, sometimes it's called Young's modulus. I don't know who Young was, but I guess Young is the person who figured this out. And each material has its own characteristic elastic modulus. And for steel, that is described as 1/1000th of an inch per inch in the grip for every 30,000 psi of load that's put on the material. Now, notice that I said for steel, not grade 8 steel, not grade 5 steel, not grade 2, not 836. All steel is pretty much the same at this description. And notice I did not say any particular size. It doesn't matter how large or small the specimen or the bolt is, because it's based on pounds per square inch, 30,000 pounds per square inch. And when we go about describing this number, it comes out to be a very large number, like it's about 29 million some number PSI, 30 million PSI approximately, for pretty much every kind of normal steel, and alloy steel is about the same. Other materials, stainless steels, aluminums, titaniums, copper alloys will have different elastic moduluses, as will plastics and composites and other things like that. So 1/1000th of an inch per inch in the grip for every 30,000 psi of load. So let's just, for the sake of argument, pretend like this grade 8 bolt has 3 inches in the grip. That is, between the head of the bolt and the last thread in the grip, there's 3 inches. And let's say, for the sake of argument, because we know that grade 8 bolts are 150 KSI tensile strength, not yield strength, but tensile strength. And let's say we're going to tighten this to, just for the sake of argument, 50% of its tensile strength. So that means we're going to tighten it down to 70,000 PSI of load. Now, let's go a little higher. Let's go 90,000, because that will make the math easier. So we're going to put 90,000 PSI of load on this grade 8 bolt. which is a little bit on the low side. And let's say that with our 3 inches of grip, 1/1000th of an inch times 3 is 3. 30,000 into 90,000 goes 3 times. So we've got 3 there. So we technically, or literally, I should say, we're going to stretch this bolt 9,000ths of an inch. And I've done this experiment many times. It works perfectly well. As a matter of fact, it works so well that that's how electronic load cells work. They work based on measuring the actual stretch of the material. So we know this is good science. Now the question is, of course, and we don't know the answer because we only have what we were told by the supplier, is what does the customer mean by stretching? Obviously, they must mean like it's stretched permanently, or how would they know, right? They don't have any way to know unless there's some damage. So here are some questions we might ask the customer or whoever is doing this work. We know what the torque was, by the way, and the torque is about right. I used the IFI fastener technology connection to check the proper torque, and for a plain bolt, it should be around 225 to 200 foot-pounds. So that was correct. Another question would be, is there a nut and washer involved, or is this going into a tapped hole? What exactly are we holding together? Is the load on this part static or dynamic? That is, once we install it, does it hold the load, or does the load fluctuate? Does this stretch occur during the tightening of the bolt or in the use of the bolt after it's installed? How long was it installed before we saw the problem? Next question is probably the most important one, and it is, was any lubrication used? Because if we lubricate that bolt, now the torque that we apply is going to result in a higher tension value, which could in fact cause the bolt to stretch. That's back to our T equals KdP, torque equals K, which is that lubrication and some other stuff, times the diameter of the bolt times the load that is installed. Ask about the torque wrench. What's the brand, the type, the range of the torque wrench? Give us a photo of the setting. Most times when I ask this question and I can't get a quick answer, I know pretty much this is a torque wrench problem. Are the installers trained on the use of the torque wrench? And why does the customer think these photos are important? Which there was a photo of the head of the bolt and then some micrographs of the microstructure of the bolt in the threads and some other part, which is completely irrelevant to solving this problem. But it does indicate that the customer has some level of laboratory capability. So something is going on there. And here's the next most important thing. And if you take nothing else away from this whole Fastener Training Minute, write this down and remember this. The next question: will a nut go on the bolt thread the full way after it's been removed? That is the best indicator of whether or not the bolt has permanently stretched, because if it's stretched, it's going to stretch in the threads. And if it stretches in the threads, that's going to change the thread pitch of at least one thread, maybe more. And if that happens even the slightest amount, then the nut will not go on the bolt anymore past that. So that is the key to knowing whether or not a bolt has permanently stretched. Ask if they did any other testing, a Skidmore test, which is the bolt tension calibrator, the torque tension relationship determiner. Did they do a hardness test? How many of these bolts did they install? How many stretched? Did they try another lot? And what were the results of that? And then maybe ask, what's the urgency? Is it a safety critical application? And so on. So this is a really interesting, I don't know the answer to this, by the way. This thing is in process, so maybe have the answer for the next Fastener Training Minute. We'll tell you. I suspect that probably they used some lubrication, and as a result, the bolts were over-torqued. That is actually malpractice to be rendering a diagnosis without having the information, but that's the most common cause of this kind of problem. So now you know all about how bolts stretch, why they're supposed to stretch, and how to know if they stretch too much. This has been Carmen Vertula with your Fastener Training Minute. Thanks for listening.
Hello, this is Christian with Goebel Fasteners, your leading source for blind rivets, threaded inserts, and tooling solutions. You're listening to the voice of the fastener industry, Fully Threaded Radio.
It's early morning at, where are we? IFE. Second day. How about it? So, and I'm here with?
Baron Yarbrough, Birmingham Fastener.
And?
Chris McCaffrey, Birmingham Fastener.
Hey.
Hey, Cameron. There he goes.
Yeah, Cameron, you could join us.
Yeah, Fully Threaded. I listened to just about every episode. This is Chris, and we were actually, I think, Ryan, my brother, and I were on episode around 116 or something sometime back. It was a lot of fun. But, you know, that Brian with that, British accent, is he compensating for something? And Eric with the long hair, what's going on with that? Love you guys.
Hippies.
Yeah, hippies. Yeah.
Midwest hippies.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Fully Threaded Radio at all.
Never at all.
Not once.
Not once. Oh, okay. You're going to make me cry here.
Being on it multiple times, yeah. Never heard of it.
All right. Now, Baron, you've got a booth here. Chris, I don't know. Well,
Yes,
Chris is here.
We have a booth, and this is the first year for this booth. We're debuting a new booth.
So how's it all going?
It's going great. We've definitely expanded our booth. New design to show off all of our different manufacturing hubs. So
we have beards on a stick.
I see that. I'm going to take one of those beards on a stick. Who came up with that? Is that because we got two beard guys?
It was
Laura.
Yeah.
It was me and Laura.
Okay.
I said it as a joke, and then our marketing team, who is headed up by Laura, was like, "No, we should do it."
Miss Laura Flowers, you're awesome. We love you.
So when your customers come by, do they have to hold this up to talk to you?
You know, we've got mixed responses. Sometimes you can just sarcastically hold it up and go, other people have grabbed one, and other people have handed it back and said, no, thank you.
No,
so
thank you.
It's a mixed bag at this point.
It's a mixed bag. So is your booth in a good location?
Yeah, end cap, I think it's one of the perfect spots. Yeah, totally.
All right, great. Well, I wish you guys a good second day. Keep listening to Fully Threaded Radio. You start listening.
Tony Martinez, Buckeye Fasteners.
Tell me, what happened? How's the show?
The show was good. A lot of good foot traffic on the first day. We had some good leads. Brought a couple new employees here with us today, and got to introduce them to some of the fellow industry individuals, and learned a lot. So hopefully find a couple new sourcing items as well.
Do you listen to Fully Threaded Radio?
I do. I have it on my taskbar at home. My dad's been with the company for 35 years, and he always listens too, so we always find out the good information on there all the time.
Is there a host you prefer, Eric or Brian?
I like them both. I'm not going to single both out there.
Trying to get you into trouble.
Yeah, I see that. No, they're both great individuals.
I'm here with
John Butler with the Olander Company.
All right, and you're walking the show, and so give me your impressions.
I think it's got bigger this year, much better than last year, of course. I don't know if it's back to the pre-pandemic amount of vendors and exhibitors and customers, but I see a lot of new faces of people that I don't know, so that's always nice to stop and say hello to people, and they're like, who is this guy that's stopping me? You know, you don't know somebody.
You're always very friendly, John.
Yeah, you have to. You know, you have to reach out to people and talk with them, and that's the whole reason we're here, for networking. Mm-hmm. And speaking of networking, how about PacWest Fastener Association, everybody?
Yeah.
It's a great way to network,
and
teach our employees about fastener industry, but a great association to be a part of, as well as the other associations that are on there, just happen to be on the board and want to increase membership.
And I talked to Han earlier today, so that's good.
Yes, and Trevor Borland has a very nice bar over there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the Canadian Connection over there. You know, you got to see it over there, hey?
Yeah, this is true. This is true. We had a good time at the BBI reception.
Wasn't that a great event last night? A lot of... so much room in there. They don't make you shove into this little room.
Right.
They had all these games going on as well. Saw a lot of my fastener people in there, a lot of Chicago friends that I've had when I used to be in Wisconsin. But a great time. Got to sit down with you and that other guy.
Who was that guy?
That Ryan Musker? Yeah, I didn't see any Vegemite out on the food tables that they had there. But very nice food, nice drinks. Rosa and Mike White ran that last night. They were up on stage, got a lot of gifts that they were giving away.
Which we did not win.
Yeah, there was something about that. I think they don't have enough tickets to give to me so that I could win.
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't think I need any more toys.
So what'd you do last night? Anything interesting?
Last night I was a good boy. I was in bed by 9 o'clock. I passed by all of the different lounges that we have around here, and I decided to be smart and be fresh. Tomorrow I have Robo Device Expo in Santa Clara, where we are exhibiting today and tomorrow. So I'm on the opposite side today to be able to go around and talk with a lot of these exhibitors. And tomorrow I'm back on the other side of the table. But I really believe in our industry. I love that we have IFE here. I think it was a great event, the gala welcome reception. That was a very nice time, as always. And I heard that they were working on the volume of music, of how loud it was. And I couldn't tell because that was still loud.
Yeah, because if they worked on it, it sure didn't sound like it.
Yeah.
It was loud.
If you think about, though, how many drinks that they put out there, that was quite an event. There was a lot of drinks out there. Stopped by the Wi-Fi booth as well in Solution Industries. Talked with them. Just saw a lot of old friends that are good friends. We'll put it that way. I shouldn't say old friends, should I?
No.
Legacy friends.
Yeah. All right, we're still at IFE, and I'm over here at
Perigee Manufacturing Company. Michael Topoleski.
And Tim Topoleski.
The brother. So how's it going, brother?
It's going good. It's going really good.
So far, so good.
So this is the first show in a while we both did together. So usually it's him and my dad, or me and my dad. So
okay.
Yeah, we'll get the both of us this year.
And how is it working, brothers and brothers?
Good.
Yeah.
It has its ups. It has a little bit of its downs, but it has its most of the way up. We do work well together.
Your impressions of the show since we haven't been.
I attended last year, and it's night and day between this year and last year. So.
I agree
significant
with you
improvement. Yes, significant improvement.
And so now you're back on track?
It was 3 years for me, so it's good to get back and see nice, familiar faces for sure.
And then I heard you had another first. Tim talked you into doing golf.
Yeah,
right?
we did the golf tournament, and I think that was 100% worth it, and I hope to do that again next year.
And who was your partners, your other two?
Patriot Bolt. Chris and Bryce.
I'm not going to be invited next year because I was the worst.
No, he did. He did great. We used a few of his shots. It was a scramble. We used a whole bunch of his shots.
Out of mercy, they used a few of my shots. So.
Well, practice.
There's a year's time for the next show. So.
Yeah, so you'll do that again.
Of course, it was a great outing.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
Right. But
next year we're gunning for it.
You're going. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to see you out on the golf course more.
I may be driving the car. I don't know about golfing. We'll see.
All right. Have a good show, fellas.
Hey, thank you very much.
All right. So I'm over here at the Wi-Fi group, and we all listen to Fully Threaded Radio, right? As I stare them down.
Of course.
All right. And what do you want to tell me, Jen?
Well, we have two of our scholarship winners here today. We have Michelle Richards from OEP and Jasmine Duenas from
Delta Secondary. This is Michelle with OEP. I'm really excited to have won this scholarship this year. It's really afforded me the chance to reconnect with a lot of people in the industry I hadn't seen in a few years. And in my new role with OEP, it just brought it all together, and it's been nothing but smiles around this whole show. One, that I graciously was awarded this scholarship was an honor, but then all of the benefits that it's affording me after the fact, priceless. I'm having the best time. It's been the best show so far.
Wonderful. Jasmine?
Hi, Jasmine Duenas from Delta Secondary. As this is my first full year being in the fastener industry with no prior experience, I wouldn't have been afforded this opportunity without Wi-Fi. So I am honored and very grateful for these lovely women. It's been a lot, but with these women by my side, I was able to, handle it better, meeting all these new people, and I'm just really excited and to move forward as a member and see where this takes me around, the fastener industry. It's my favorite.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to the industry.
Thank
we
you.
need younger people. Not that you aren't all young. You are, especially compared to me. But congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm here with
Nick Penny from Vogelsang Fastening Solutions.
Second day IFE, we're kind of like almost alone. Everybody's just kind of filtering in. How was your day?
Yesterday was very, very good. It was a little better attended than I thought it was going to be, but we're still way down from when we were at the heyday of the show.
Yes.
It was steady and consistent. We saw a lot of good customers and had a good conversations with a lot of people, and people were excited to reconnect.
The FDI is down below 50. Do you find that your business is that way?
No, our business is not down at all right now. We've been extremely steady through this year. We are still above last year's numbers right now on our bookings and our shipping. So we've seen a steady increase over the last several years, and have extended our product lines that we offer to our customers, as well as we've actually increased business with a lot of different markets.
Wonderful. Good luck on the second day. I hope you get that big offer or whatever, big deal.
We will keep our fingers crossed. Second days of shows are always interesting.
Yes.
Should be good this.
All right, I am over here with
Lonnie Kiefer from SmartCert.
And Lonnie, you happen to attend the keynote speaker, Dirk Beveridge. What did you think of the talk?
It was one of those moments, I think, that was incredibly beneficial for the industry. There is a lot of panic right now and a lot of turbulence on so many facets of keeping up with the competition, adjusting to an evolving workforce, the technology, and all of these disruptions are making an impact on where to prioritize your time and how do you rise above the panic to really embrace opportunities to move your business forward. And I thought it was really well done from a actionable perspective in shedding light on the different facets of disruption and how companies are embracing that with the opportunity he's had to drive across the country and learn from end users and the people who are doing the work. I thought that was really powerful.
The reimagined leadership, which is all true, and COVID did that for all of us. We all have to, people want to stay home now, they want a different schedule. There's a whole heck of a lot of stuff.
There is,
that
and
you
I
have
think
to reimagine.
It's embracing it instead of fighting it, and I think a lot of his interviews with these companies across the country were really providing a visual perspective and a conversation around how they're reducing their resistance and embracing the future of the fact that it's a different way to do business, it's a different way to run your organization, and your team is changing along with it.
Yes, it was very good. We were sorry, Brian and I were sorry that we had to run out and get the booth ready because it was so frickin' far away.
It was. I know that they received over 200 RSVPs to attend the keynote, but I think the challenge in trying to accommodate that number of people in this convention center that's being overrun by a couple of different shows created a challenge, but I'm glad it was being recorded because of the fact that it was a pretty important message for everyone.
Now, you yourself was a part of a trio, all right, doing one of the education sessions, and what was that session on?
I joined forces with Brandy Bertoya from INxSQL and Brad Burrell from Advanced Components to talk a lot about the focus on automation and productivity right now. So it was the technology conversation about, like you were saying, how do you respond to the challenges post-pandemic and now inflation, and with all of the advancements in technology, how does that make sense with your existing systems, and how can you start to create a more agile and efficient workforce?
Give a little plug for SmartCerts here.
So we are made by the industry for the industry to automate cert transfer as a universal platform, really cutting down on a lot of the decades-old challenges related to missing paperwork and time spent with the coordination of inbound and outbound certs.
Thanks for talking. Okay, I'm here at one of the educational sessions, and I'm here with
Dennis, Andre, and I'm Jonas.
All right, from?
We're from COT Sweden. It's called Circle of Trust. It's actually from the movie Meet the Fockers with Robert De Niro and Ben Stiller. So that's the name. But that's not what we do. We not do movies. We have a rental company in Sweden, and we're based in Stockholm. Founded and started 2.5 years ago, and we do rent out tools, but also sell fastenings and consumptions.
First time here at Vegas. First time?
Well, Dennis has been in Vegas.
Second time.
But first time for me and Andre, and first time here at the Fastener show as well.
So what were you hoping to do?
Hoping to find some, maybe find some new suppliers, maybe see some new tools and fastenings that we haven't seen before. Maybe bring some of the, well, we don't know what's out there, and we live in our small country, Sweden, so we need to go abroad and see what there's out there.
And the session was boosting automation and productivity. So why did you attend today's session?
Yeah, we think that we do that a lot. We have a small company that we work together with. We have 4 developers full-time that are working together with us. We have our own portal that is built in Java, PHP, and so on. So the developing from when the client puts in their orders in our portal, they have full control of their work sites. We send our invoices from that system, etc. And we have our own cars, we own our own distribution, and all the orders will be picked in our own app, and the app will also be connected to the drivers, and the driver has their routes through Google Maps and so on as well. So this is something that we try to do a lot, but we need to know more about it as well, of course.
Well, great. Well, thank you for talking with me, and good luck with the company. And
thank you so much.
Behave in Vegas, you guys.
We will. Yeah. You do as well.
Yes. Oh, you don't have to worry about me. That's. I'm here with the neighbors again. I ran across the way, and now I'm talking with
Victoria Roberts with Impact Tool Supply Corporation.
And Tony Bernier with Impact Tool Supply as well.
And Katrina Bernier with Impact Tool Supply.
So, I saw the little golf thing here. Everybody's golfing. Did you give away all your pens?
It's been a big hit. We have 1 pen left. Looks like the show's slowing down a little bit right now, but we had people here yesterday right until 4 p.m. First show that I've had where we were busy right until 4. So that really made it a great show.
It was very good. So tell me a little bit, in case people don't know, what does your company do?
Sure. So we're a manufacturer of header and threader tooling, specializing in long tool life, heading tools, specifically for the aerospace industry. We primarily support aerospace due to our special materials and coatings and processes that we have that set us apart from some of our competitors. So it's mostly aerospace, but obviously, the other industries, they could benefit from our product as well. It's just aerospace has been low-hanging fruit for so long that we really find ourselves probably about 80% aerospace and 20% everything else.
Okay. So if people wanted to get a hold of you, what's the website?
www.impacttoolsupply.com.
All right, I am here with
Hans Fuller Metric in Canada.
In Canada, where have you been?
President, Pac West President, just FYI. Just
I read that. No, I did read that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Just another job that doesn't pay.
Yeah, yes. And let's talk about your booth. It's a bar.
Yes, we got together with Pacific Bolts, and we're good friends. We live close together. We thought, let's do something different. Let's not be serious about this. We haven't spent any money in 3 years on advertising or anything, so let's just do something different. And we kind of may have gone overboard a little bit on the whole Canada concept, but people are loving it, and they're coming there.
Oh.
We've been busy, and it's been just kind of hangout.
Yeah.
Which has been really fun.
It's busy and everybody's in their flannel.
Yeah, we got our
and
flannel
stuff.
shirts,
Yeah.
we've the young boys are looking a little tired this morning. I think it was 4:00 for them. I just went to sleep last night. I needed a break.
Oh, welcome to coming into our age. Yeah, that's what Brian and I did too. We just said, you know what, we're going to have a nightcap and then we're going.
Yeah. It's the show is really good. I think yesterday looked to be constant all day long. Even at the end there were still people around, and see what happens today.
So how's Canada? I mean, how's the business? What's going on up there?
Canada, other than the fuel prices, I mean, we're as bad as California. We're actually, at one point, we had the highest fuel prices in the world. We had some refineries went down. I think we were like in the $8 a gallon by U.S. standards.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I have a boat. That's a problem for my boat. But no, business has been good. We're finally, the congestion for our rail systems, everything seems to be normalizing a bit. The trucking is moving again. We're seeing some surcharges removed. I just read in Canada inflation dropped another half point. I think we're like 6.2% or something. So hopefully if that keeps going, we can, the Bank of Canada stops raising our rates every day. So I'll just like down here, it's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Hard to deal with.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's probably why we haven't seen you. We kept thinking, wow.
Well, it's also, it hurts when you have a 72-cent dollar and you're buying a $15 beer.
Yeah, this is true.
In Vegas. So.
Yeah. You sure Pac West, being involved with Pac West, didn't kind of give you the thing about having a bar as your booth?
Well, so Pacific Bolt is a company, we're not associated, we're just good friends, and he's also part of Pac West, and we're good friends, so we just sat around in a bar one day, and we thought, let's just, instead of getting two small booths, let's get one big one together, and
it's great.
That's the concept.
And I couldn't even get in there to say hi to you yesterday, so save me a beer for day 2.
Yeah, we went through. We were worried. We had one full keg, and then we're doing Caesars in the morning, which, if you don't know what a Caesar is, it's like a Bloody Mary, but with Clamato juice. Oh. It's a Canadian thing. So we were served those in the morning, too, so people were...
You serving those now?
No.
Oh,
no, we ran out of money.
So it's neighbor time, and these are our neighbors here. I'm talking with
Steve Dixon from Camcar Innovations.
And you are a new exhibitor. You got this nice little sign that tells us this.
Right.
But Brian tells me you guys are so well known in the industry.
Right.
How are you new?
Camcar developed the Torx drive system back in 1967. Okay, and the Torx drive system has become a staple in the automotive industry, as well as we've spread into aerospace and other industries. Camcar has been the history. They've been bought and sold a number of times. Our current owners are Fontana Fasteners out of Italy, and in 2020 they split us off from the manufacturing side. So we're a strictly standalone engineering and licensing business. So we have around 200 licensees around the world, and we license people for header tools, drive tools, and then fasteners.
And I know you had a good first day yesterday because I'm right next to you, and my God, you had a lot of people. I kept thinking, who are these people?
Well, it's a little bit like Old Home Week. The Acumen name came into existence in 2006, and so Camcar kind of got pushed to the background. And then when we got split off, it felt like a really good time to bring back the Camcar name because it's got a lot of brand value. A lot of our licensees and customers, end users around the world remember the name. So we decided to bring back the name.
So will we see you next year?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So have a great second day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, we're winding down here at the IFE, but I was able to stop by the LinFast booth and talk to...
Hi, my name is David Golick from Stelfast.
Stelfast.
Yeah.
So how was the show?
Show was actually good for us this year. Mm-hmm. We saw a number of people we haven't seen in many years, so it's been good, really good for us.
Yeah, it wasn't really, it was kind of like the old vibe. Not totally, but more so than last year, that's for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. So we're glad to be part of it, and we'll be back again next year. And it's great to see a lot of faces around here and shake hands and have conversation in person.
Do you listen to Fully Threaded Radio?
I do. I play it in the office when I'm working. When I'm in the office for the day, I'll play it through my speakers and listen to it.
Oh.
Yeah, I like the news. More of the updated news.
Oh, with Mike?
Yes.
Mike is very good at that.
Yeah, very good.
So, and then Carmen's very good at giving us, I don't know what he's talking about, but he's good about it.
This is Jake Davis with BTM Manufacturing, and for over 50 years, we have been a leading manufacturer of bent wire and threaded products, including U-bolts, single and double-end studs, anchor bolts, and many more per-print items. Based in the heart of America, Kansas City, Missouri, BTM supports Fully Threaded Radio because they support our fastener industry. Being a part of FTR is almost as good as a hot cup of industry favorite U-bolt blend coffee. And if you still don't know how good that is, call BTM Manufacturing today and find out for yourself. BTM Manufacturing, commitment to service.
My name is Ashley Parker. I am a member of the sales team at Parker Fasteners out here in Buckeye, Arizona. Parker Fasteners is a quality manufacturer of fasteners such as aerospace, military, commercial, and much more. They could be something that you put in a vehicle, in your eyewear, in computers, and much more. We actually just experienced a 40% growth just in last year. Here at Parker, we take pride in the quality of our product. Doing so, we want every employee to take pride in the product. So we take the time to show you, teach you everything there is to know about screws. It's actually kind of a fun industry. It's a growing industry. The possibilities are endless. Parker Fasteners is forging the future for many years to come, and I encourage you to be a part of that.
Brighton Best International is one of the largest full-line distributors in the fastener industry. With a strong inventory nationwide, technical support, and competitive pricing, Brighton Best is guaranteed to meet the demands of an ever-growing industry. BBI is now your source for weld fasteners. This new offering consists of headed concrete anchors, shear connectors, spot weld nuts, hex weld nuts, retainer weld nuts, and flange CD studs. Our weld fasteners come in low-carbon steel, stainless steel, and aluminum. Other styles and sizes are available per request. Whether in construction, automobile, electronics, or the appliance industry, Brighton Best International can help get the next project done. For more information, visit us at www.brightonbest.com.
This is Andy Cohn from Duncan Bolt in Santa Fe Springs, California, and you're listening to Fully Threaded Radio.
There you have it, International Fastener Expo 22. It's in the books. Hope you enjoyed those on-the-floor interviews by the lovely and talented Lynn Dempsey. Lots of people said it sort of had that old-time feeling, the energy, certainly the attendance. That's all good news, albeit with no carpeting. I keep remembering Lynn's remarks there in the opening segment. Actually, I got an email from somebody who should know, a show professional, nobody related to Emerald, but they pointed out that it probably would have been on the order of $60,000 to lay carpeting. And I know that's a big movement in the show world these days to go without, and they went without. We'll see what happens next year. I know a lot of people miss it, but nevertheless, it seems like a very successful show. Lots of people had some good times. Get out to FastenerNewsDesk.com. By now, actually, they may have made the announcement, but if not, it'll be coming soon. They've got their Best Booth Awards, which they do every year. Looking forward to seeing who got that. My vote, of course, always goes to BTM for the U-Bolt Blend Coffee, and it's up between BBI and Stelfast, actually, for the giveaways, because, let's face it, it's hard to beat the monkey. I don't think anybody mentioned the color this year. It was a sort of a two-tone blue. Nobody seemed disappointed. It was a 3-year absence. The Stelfast monkey is back. Another way it was like old times. So thanks again, Lynn. You always do such a great job. And to everybody who participated in recording with her. We couldn't use all the material we gathered, but I think we presented a pretty good cross-section of what we got. Thanks also to Mike McNulty and Carmen Vertullo, who showed up this time. You guys are solid, you're dependable, and the fastener industry appreciates your contributions. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks also to the title sponsors of Fully Threaded Radio, Brighton Best International, Goebel Fasteners, and Star Stainless. Fully Threaded is also sponsored by Buckeye Fasteners, BTM Manufacturing, Eurolink Fastener Supply Service, Fastener Technology International, INxSQL Software, ND Industries, Parker Fasteners, Solution Industries, Stelfast, 3Q Inc., Volt Industrial Plastics, and Worth Industry North America. Reach out to us anytime. We're always interested in hearing your comments and suggestions. The email address is ftr@fullythreaded.com. And anytime you need a hard-to-find fastener inventory item, get out to fastenersclearinghouse.com. That's the FCH Sourcing Network. Lots going on out there, plus a huge amount of information, including an archive of Carmen Vertullo's fastener training minutes, all transcribed for you. Don't forget about that. It's free to search and source the network. And if you're looking to generate sales or you've got some inventory you want to move or get more attention paid, FCH has got a plan to help you out. Love to have you on the network. Well, thanks for showing up to this one, everybody. Means a lot. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next time with a little bit more of a traditional episode, I'm pretty sure. All hands will be on deck if everything goes to schedule, and I, for one, will be looking forward to it. I have a couple things I'm working on lining up right now. You know, going back to the show being kind of like old times, we can never go back. We're always moving forward, but we're here now. If you ask me, these are still the good old days. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you're here with us, and I remind myself of that every day. Thanks a lot, everyone. For Brian Musker, who will be here next time, this is Eric Dudas. Get out there, sell some screws, and we'll talk to you next time.
Fully Threaded Radio is a production of Fasteners Clearinghouse. Music provided by Audionautics. I'm here with
Doug Hagan.
Doug.
Yes.
Have you listened to Fully Threaded?
Yes.
And what do you think?
I find it very interesting and entertaining.
What do you think of the hosts, Brian and Eric?
Oh, I think they're
I'm the Brian.
Oh, I love Brian. Brian's great.